Mandala, Mandala. What was that?
What's up? What's up?
What the fuck was that?
Slime? YSL?
Okay, I thought that's what that was. We
Mhm.
don't associate with those fucking gang members over here, buddy. Guys, news,
uh,
reviews, updates, tidbits, factoids. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Current Era Podcast every Monday and Friday when I say so. Monday, let's get to it.
hey, all right. News, reviews, tidbits, factoids. You know the deal.
Titties.
Let's pop it off. Let's pop it off with some reviews. You get a chance to watch any shows between our last pod?
Yeah, I
Finish any
finished.
shows?
Echo was the only thing I finished.
Okay, I watched Echo as well, so I saved that review for this review. I've got 3 show reviews, so I'll do one that you hadn't seen, and then we'll do Echo in the middle, and I'll end it off with the last one.
Okay.
The first review here that is for Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. This is the new Godzilla show on Apple TV. It's set in the MonsterVerse, so not Godzilla -1, but like King Kong. I mean, King Kong versus Godzilla. Or I'm sorry, Kong, as Julian likes to call him. He's not King Kong. That universe. So yeah, I'm definitely here for this new Godzilla renaissance that we're currently in right now. This I think is definitely the biggest misstep though so far in that overall renaissance. It's not bad per se, but it was like aggressively mediocre. It stars Anna Sawai, who you might recognize from Fast and Furious 9. She's a cutie, by the way. She's so cute. We got Kiersey Clemens, but by far my favorite casting in this whole cast is we have Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, who are real life father and son playing the same character. Like one is in the 1950s and then one is in today. So that's really cool how they did that because they have very similar like mannerisms. They look the same. And the story itself is also split up into 2 parts. So there's a 1950s storyline, like when they first meet the MonsterVerse or like that hidden world in Godzilla versus Kong or whatever. And then there's the new Monarch storyline. And so the past storyline in the 50s is so much more interesting than the current storyline. And it sucks because that storyline got kind of like the shaft towards the end. Like that, the other storyline was definitely have more screen time, unfortunately. And honestly, man, me and you have talked about this ad nauseum when it comes to Godzilla, especially in the Western Hemisphere. We don't give a fuck about the humans, and it's the same thing that applies here. But the fact that we saw it could be done right with Godzilla -1, I mean, that had an amazing emotional human storyline. And the fact that a 10 episode, hour-long episode series could not get us to care about these fucking humans is very telling to the writers in the
So
writing room.
that's true even with Kurt and Wyatt Russell's performance. I mean, how could their performance be any good if you didn't care about their storyline?
I didn't say it was Gus. It was cool to see a real life father and son play the same
Oh,
man. Yeah,
got it. Okay. So it was cool,
yeah,
but it
and
wasn't good. Got it.
I'm not saying that their performances are bad. That's the actors. It's the writing.
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm not saying any actor's performance is bad in this story. But yeah, it just sucks because we saw it done in Godzilla -1, and now to have a 10 episode arc with hardly any monsters in it, you got some balls. You got some balls to try to
Wait,
pull that shit off.
Godzilla was barely in it?
Of course, he was barely in it, which I kind of expected. But it was cool seeing other monsters that we haven't seen yet in the monster. Like, there's a whole lot of cool, different design monsters that we get to explore and see that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that was cool. And as I also expected, the highlight of the show was when we did get to see Godzilla. Like that had me hype. I mean, in the finale, there's a scene when Godzilla fights this new monster that we haven't seen before. It's like mid-level monster compared to like Kong or Ghidorah or whatever. And that was like the best part of the show, in my opinion. I mean, because Godzilla used the whoop, 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 like they saved it for that moment in the finale, and it was dope as fuck. Like that's what we want.
Put all the
And
budget
so
in that one scene. Cool.
right, and then also, I guess spoiler alert. At the very last frame of the show, we get to see King Kong now, and he just roars at the screen like that shit got me hyped. So if anything, I'm just more excited for Godzilla and Kong, and the show. Like I said, it's not bad at all. I gave it a C. So yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it could have benefited from having less episodes than 10-hour long episodes. I think it has the opposite effect of the show that we're going to review next, which is Echo, which I think could have used more episodes. So we could have the inverse. That would have been kind of cool. But yeah,
Okay.
man.
Seems like the overall goal of the show was to get viewers excited for Godzilla and Kong New World or whatever the fuck it's called. So New Empire, whatever.
hmm And I'm
So
wondering
sounds like that's what
I
it did
want,
for you.
well, not really, but kind of. I'm wondering if this main cast of characters that we have now are going to appear in
Hmm.
future silver screen iterations. I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but yeah. Anyway, that was my review for Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Let's talk
Got
the
it.
MCU's newest show, guys.
Hmm.
Under the Marvel Spotlight Studios, Echo. I would love to hear your thoughts on the show. You had a lot of shit to talk about the show before you watched it, but
Hmm.
yeah. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't all negative, but it was all true. Sad to say. I mean, I watched this show for Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk.
And
Um,
please give a spoiler alert if you're going to spoil in this review for the listeners.
uh, guys, I'm not going to give you a spoiler fucking alert every time. I spoil.
No,
Okay,
but
so
we have
if you don't want to hear something, okay,
sometimes we might have new listeners who might need to hear that every time. So just let them
you're
know.
right.
A
You're
blanket
right.
statement. Yeah.
You're 100% right. I'm going to give a blanket statement every single pod. I'm not. Anyway, guys, full spoilers for this Echo review that I'm going to give you. My thoughts going into the show were that the things that I wanted to see, which everybody, well, I'm not going to say everybody, the things that they heavily advertised for this show, so they would get people to watch this show, were the best part of the show, which was Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk. Um, I didn't expect Wilson Fisk to be in it as much as he was, if I'm being completely honest. So that was a treat. And I basically expected a cameo for Daredevil, which is what I got, basically. So I wasn't disappointed that he wasn't in every episode, like a lot of people were. Like, I felt like a lot of people thought that this is going to be like the Daredevil show, or this is going to lead into Daredevil to some extent. I never thought that, but again, I just don't trust Marvel anymore. Like I am just like so off like the MCU train of thinking that they can do no wrong. I mean, it's been years since I've thought that way, really. But um, so basically, I just don't give them credit for anything, and I honestly expect the worst, which has helped me because I'm such a fan that it's so easy for me to be let down. Um, but I will say in this instance, I really wasn't. Um, I was happy with the brief Daredevil cameo that I got. I was happy that we got so much Wilson Fisk. And honestly, the part of the show that was less than was the Echo stuff, but that's what I expected. So because because I expected that, I wasn't like severely let down. I still think that they tried to tell like a cool story over a good story. That's just my personal opinion. I thought that all of the inclusiveness that they tried to do was cool. I thought the ASL stuff, the Native American history. Like I thought it was cool, but I don't know if it was necessarily good all the time. Um, so yeah, I mean that's pretty much my thoughts on the show. Uh, there was a lot of cool things in there, man, but I don't know how much of it was actually good. So you just said that you thought the show could have benefited from more episodes. I couldn't wait for it to be over. And Wilson Fisk was in the back half of it, and I just like even he couldn't suck me out of this. Just feels like it doesn't matter, and yeah, that's how I feel. I will say the Marvel Spotlight thing is interesting because, uh, you know, you can tell more cool stories, and that appears to be what they want to do instead of telling good fucking stories, which is really pissing me off. But look, man, Alakwa Cox, I believe her name is. I
Yes.
hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yeah. I thought she was really good as Echo. Like she honestly shined in most scenes that she was in. And the ASL stuff didn't bother me nearly as much as I thought it would. I mean, we got a little taste of it in Hawkeye, but for it to be a full series with her being the focus and her having to give these big moments or emotional moments or angry moments or whatever, like the ASL part didn't take me out. So all in all, though, I say all that to say the show is just average. There's nothing to write home about. I'll never watch this again. What do you think, Monty?
Um, yeah, so I feel like I was the only one going into the show that was like genuinely excited to see Echo, like not any of the other outside distractions. Because
Cool.
I enjoyed her. No, I'm just why you gotta
No,
say that little
no,
snarky
it's not.
shit?
No, good. I'm
Okay,
glad for you.
okay,
That's a good thing for you.
okay, um, okay. I could never take you serious, but anyway,
I wanted to see Echo.
see, I knew you, bitch.
Get that shit out of here,
Like
nigga.
you patronizing us,
Get
nigga.
that shit out of
But
here.
I mean, I enjoyed her enough in Hawkeye to I think she warranted having her own series, and but I feel like everybody was so excited, like you, to see Charlie Cox or Vincent D'Onofrio return. Which I don't get me wrong, I was excited to see him as well in some capacity, but I like the idea of Echo getting her own show. Anyway, I think Alakwa Cox, who is the lead here as Maya Lopez, was like you said, outstanding. I think she's just really great, and she's able to do so much, without obviously having any audio abilities. Shut the. I hate myself sometimes, but
Any audio ability? What, nigga? She can't hear, so she has no audio ability. You're nuts.
you know what I mean by that. Like deaf people typically don't speak because yeah, but I love the fact that she will straight. Bro, can we do the review, please? I love the fact that she will straight up like murder people.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to have a hero in the MCU who doesn't
Who
kind
just
of
wants
shy
to
away
kill
from
people,
being
huh? Mm.
ruthless, and of course you can do
Mm.
that kind of stuff under the MCU spotlight banner or whatever. But and it's so interesting too having this be the first spotlight project because there was only one scene in the show. Like, okay, that's kind of brutal. It was in the roller rink or whatever. Other than
Mm.
that, this could have easily been on Disney Plus. You could have changed a few things. It could have easily like it didn't really. I don't know, but that's a whole other conversation, I guess. But yeah, she's always been ruthless. I thought it had a really good flashback with her and Kingpin when he beat that guy up in the alley, and she comes and starts kicking his alley. I love that. That kind of shows that even though she's a good guy, so to speak, she's always had that ruthlessness in her that just needed to be kind of cultivated by Kingpin, I guess. Vincent D'Onofrio is great as always here as Kingpin. All the Charlie Cox fanboys are going crazy on Twitter. We barely got to see Daredevil. Well, I mean, if you're watching the show for that, then good. I'm glad you got that little bit of Daredevil that you got. But I did see a really cool tweet though that was like the show did a really good job at showing like the how fearful it would be for like a common criminal to like see Daredevil out of nowhere. Because like me, you always joke about like street level niggas and how like they don't really mean shit, which I disagree. But it's a fun ongoing joke. But this show did a really good job at showing like, okay, this is like a god among street level niggas. So like, oh god, Daredevil was coming, and everybody's like demeanor changed. That was a really cool scene. I like that. Um, but why even tease him as much as you would? Like, I think it would have been so cool if Marvel didn't even tease him at all in the trailer. Just that'd be an amazing surprise for a show,
It would
Even
have
though I'm
got
sure again,
spoiled or
it would
leaked.
have got spoiled.
So,
Yeah, it leaked.
mhm.
Yeah, so I think that the grandma also had a really amazing performance. I've seen her in other movies. The grandma who played her name was Chula, I believe.
Yep, Chula.
She's yeah, Chula. She's really really good. And my favorite sequences in the show have to deal with just us experiencing the world, us the audience as Maya, like without any sound. Those are just really cool sequences, and gets to really like get to really see her strength was just being her being able to lock in and just focus because there's no kind of outside audio distraction. So I love those kind of scenes in the show. The first episode did start off with wonky, only because they're trying to obviously catch up like the general audiences up to like her appearance in Hawkeye and her backstory. But once it got rolling, I thought it had a pretty steady narrative, in my opinion. Like you said, I love the indigenous representation, the ASL representation as well. All that stuff was done really, really good, in my opinion. And I love the overall theme of the show, which I interpreted it as like conditional love versus unconditional love. Like Kingpin represents the conditional love. Like he might have more for you up front, but his love is based upon what you can do for him, as opposed to her family, which might seem like the lesser option in the beginning, but they will love her for who she is. I thought it was a really good thing that was explored. I seem to enjoy the show more than most people. I've been seeing people shit on it on Twitter or TikTok. I gave it a B. I thought it was a good show. Now I do think the finale was very underwhelming from a action standpoint. I think it tied up the narrative well, but the action, like the show had really good action up until the finale. Like, why would you have your last battle be the most underwhelming fight in the entire series? That's just kind of a weird decision to me. But other than that, I still don't understand her powers. She can tap into her ancestry, which is cool. But like, what is that? Like, how does that come out? Like, is it force? I don't understand it yet still, but because that's not
Mm.
in the comics. I think that's new for the show. I don't think that ability is in the comics.
Okay,
Uh,
so
so
I was curious to ask you about that one. So that sucks. Okay, got it.
So yeah, like I said, I gave it a B. I enjoyed it more than most, but I definitely see people's, I guess, like yourselves, criticisms on the show. But yeah,
And then look again, guys. I don't think that my criticisms are harsh. I think they're more than fair. All I'm
yeah, I do
saying
too.
is that the things that they heavily advertised, which was Charlie Cox's Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, they were great. Everything else was just cool. I don't think that's heavy criticism. I really don't.
Yeah, I guess I was more so referring to everybody else on Twitter and TikTok who's just shitting on it. But um, Next show review is for The Brother's Son on Netflix. You get a chance to watch this?
Nope.
So this is a show that, remember, we had the trailer for, starring Michelle
Starring Michelle
Yeoh.
Yeoh. Yep.
Yeah, so bro, Michelle Yeoh is easily like one of my favorite actresses working today. Everything that she's in, she just elevates the material. I mean, her character in the show has an
She couldn't
art.
do nothing with American Born Chinese.
I mean, she was barely in that show. Like, she's actually, like, I say, like, this, like, on the lead call sheet on this show. And she's actually great. Like, her character up front is a very, like, surface level archetype of a mom who would do anything to protect her family, but she just brings so much layers and nuance to that character. And I'd say the real leads of the show are the two brothers, of course, played wonderfully by Justin Chien and Sam Song Lee. Justin Chien plays the character Charles' son, and Sam Song Lee plays the character Bruce' son. So, basic plot of the show: Bruce and Michelle Yeoh's character are living in L.A., America, unfazed, typical American life, and then Charles' son comes in, and we learn that their family is a part of the huge Chinese triad, and their lives are in danger pretty much from there on out. So that's how the story kind of trampolines off from there. It's a classic tale of two worlds colliding, and we get to see different sides. And um, the action in this show was crisp, bro. It was really crisp action, really brutal action. It was way more brutal than I thought it would be. Like, actual, like, brutal ass kills, great fight choreography. It had one of the best pilot episodes I've seen in recent memory. I mean, it had like, if you watch that pilot episode and you aren't kind of hooked from there, then probably don't watch the rest of it, because I mean, that's probably like the almost like the heights of the show. Is a really good pilot. But it is able to maintain that momentum for the most part throughout the show. And I want to say this too: the guy who plays Charles' son, his name is Justin Chien. He's a superstar to make it. I have a gift. I feel like I can typically, a lot of times, I can tell when actors are in the early stages of their career and they're going to blossom into somebody, big. I called it with Jonathan Majors. I called it with Timothy Chalamet. I called it with Haley Steinfeld. I have a knack, and I think this guy will be a superstar. He's one role away from being a household name. He's just got the presence. He's got the it factor. I can't wait to see more what this guy does. And overall, like I said, I think it's a really good series. I think, honestly, I kind of selfishly wanted the series to be more condensed in terms of the story, and I wanted it to get that theatrical release treatment. Like, this story that belongs on the big screen, same characters, same actors, and everything. But, give it the right marketing, the right promo, and this would have been a really good movie series, I feel like, too. But they are setting up a season 2. I feel like there's a post credit scene and everything, so I'll be tuned in. It's a really good show, Julian. I think you'll like it as well. The Brother's Son. Oh, I gave it a
Awesome.
B plus, by the way. Now for movie reviews. You get a chance to watch that your boy Kevin Hart in Lift?
No.
Me either. I'm not watching that shit. But just wondering. I know you support him so much. Did you watch any movies between last time we talked?
Yeah, one in a possible. So I was supposed to go see American Fiction on Monday, but obviously I was hungover, so I did not go to see that. But I did go see the Book of Clarence on Tuesday. Um, I'm sure you saw it too. You go ahead and give your review first, and then I will talk about my experience.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did see the Book of Clarence. This is written and directed by James Samuel, who is, fun fact, is the little brother of world-renowned singer Seal. And he's also the director of the movie The Harder They Fall. Remember, did you watch that? The Black Western with Idris Elba and all them, Jonathan Majors? Okay. What I think is really cool that he did his own soundtrack for the film, because he's like a singer songwriter as well before he was a director, and so the soundtrack is like him, which is like Jay-Z, Doja Cat, big names on it. It's really, really cool. Um, like The Harder They Fall, he has once again been gifted with an amazing stellar cast. I mean, The Harder They Fall had the likes of Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Lakeith Stanfield, RJ Seiler, and Lakeith and RJ returned for this movie. But you got like people like Omar Sy, you got Benedict Cumberbatch in a very funny role. You got, well, not really a funny role, but interesting role, James McAvoy and others. And I mean, I was worried as a Christian. I know you don't believe, but I'm a Christian, and so I was worried that what what, why are you laughing? No, like, no, it wasn't a shot anyway. But like, I was worried that it would be blasphemous to Christianity, and it honestly wasn't. I think everything was done in good taste. Now I will say this though: there are some things that are definitely like revised history if you know the Bible. That didn't bother me because it was done tastefully, but I feel like there's going to be a group of people who will always have some kind of issue with that kind of stuff anyway. So I'm waiting for that to come out. People to have just uproar about the film, but overall it was cool. Absolutely loved the costume design in this movie. I love the overall aesthetic. It was shot so creatively, and that's kind of where the praise for the movie ends for me. It was all style and no
It's a lot
substance
of
for me.
praise.
Unfortunately, what just the what all our praise was the aesthetic and the design and the
And
shots.
the actors and the soundtrack and okay, keep going. That's okay. Keep going.
I didn't. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, and so that's where it ends. This concept for a film, bro, is like, to me, like, as an aspiring writer myself, is like, this is like golden. Like, you have a guy that wants to pretend to be the 13th Messiah, and you have a comedy spin on it, and he pretends to be Jesus. Like, that's something that comes across a writer's desk or a director's desk, and like, oh my god, okay, this is about to be a playground for me. I could really have a lot of fun with this role, and I just feel like he didn't. It was very bland, and honestly, I felt very similar to The Harder They Fall, another great concept of black western, and he just not phones in performance. I don't think he's that talented, which is really sad to say as another black creative, but um it's just very disappointing because as I'm watching the movie the entire time, I'm thinking to myself, like, I can see the potential of what this could be, you know. And it's also like a comedy, but I promise you, I didn't laugh one time. Like, not, I didn't even crack a smile. Like, a lot of the jokes just fell flat. And I know comedy is very subjective, so I'm sure some people did laugh, but I just watched this entire thing with a straight face. And so when the jokes aren't landing, it's like, okay, it gets kind of awkward after a while. And I think that James Samuel keeps getting these unbelievable casts, and it's not fair to other creatives who deserve those casts, because he gets these big budgets and these amazing casts, and he don't do nothing with it. You know, like, this film could have easily been, I think, a masterpiece under the helm of somebody else who was more competent in the writing and directing in the department, in my opinion. And so that's why it's just very disappointing to watch this movie. I think it has some brilliant ideas, some big ideas that it tried to execute. I do give him credit for being somebody who was putting these kind of movies on these big platforms like Netflix or on the silver screen or whatever, because, like, I'm sure, like, if he didn't make this film, no one else would have made this film. But at the same time, if you aren't going to do it right, then what's the point? So I gave it a C. It's very average. It could have easily been a masterpiece, in my opinion.
Interesting. 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 This is the first film that I've walked out of in years.
Oh wow!
I think I think no, I finished Sorry to Bother You, but I wanted to walk out of that too. Um,
Oh,
but
or
man,
Lakeith.
this is the first, yeah. This is the first time in years that I've walked out, and I was just like, this is enough. Like,
How far into?
I was about an hour 15 ish. I
Okay.
pretty much got to about the third act or whatever, the third title card, whatever that was. But I was like, man, I've had enough. Like, I don't know what this movie is. I don't know what it's trying to do for me. It was promoted as a comedy, like there was zero laughs. But we can say comedy is subjective, but like, something has to be set up as a joke for a joke to land. And I don't even think that they were setting up jokes. I think that it was almost like a day in the life of just this guy trying to be a messiah, which I will give the film credit for this. Like you said, if you just put all this on a piece of paper, you put the actors involved, you put the story beats. I think you're right. Like, you could have something, but when it's done in this way, it just comes off as pathetic, and it comes off as like, you don't care about my time. And there, I I I don't know if I like even respect Lakeith Stanfield anymore. Like, he continually just does things like this, where to me it's coming off as he just doesn't care. Like, it's just like oozing through the screen for me. Like, he doesn't care. And can I blame that on creative or directing or writing? Maybe, but he's the face I see as the lead role in so many films where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why am I watching this? And right before the third act started, I looked at Avi, she looked at me, and we both were just like, let's get the fuck out of here. It's like neither one of us
Damn.
were enjoying it. So I'm not going to give it like a rating. I didn't finish the film. I'm not like you. I didn't go look it up on Wikipedia to see what I missed. I don't give a fuck. Um, I cared that I missed Benedict Cumberbatch and X-Men, Xavier Luther.
James McAvoy. James McAvoy.
Yeah,
God, it's
James
crazy.
McAvoy. But
Yeah,
like,
Xavier.
Xavier Luther, yeah.
That's
But
fucking
fuck, I
blasphemous, bitch.
mean, if you're gonna wait until the last 30 minutes to show them, then fuck you anyway. So, um, yeah, man, like you, I wanted a comedy. Like, I chose this after my hangover from not seeing American Fiction. I was like, you know what, comedy, black people, Lakeith Stanfield, Caleb McLaughlin, like, let's do it, comedy, man. Like, this should be easy. It should be a fun night, and it fucking wasn't. Like I literally, I was angry. I was just like, what the fuck? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, and maybe I just don't get it anymore. I don't know, but I did not enjoy this.
My only counter to your Lakeith Stanfield critique was that I think maybe I do think he's trying. I just think that his acting style isn't for you.
Maybe
But
not.
I wouldn't say he's not trying in any of his projects. I think he's actually really talented. So that's my only counter. But yeah, a lot of what you said, I kind of agree. Let's talk some other stuff now. Oh no, I'm sorry. I watched one more movie tonight called ISS. This is the movie starring Ariana DeBose. Remember, there's these American astronauts in space and Russian astronauts on the same space station, and then while they're on this space station, America and Russia in real life are at nuclear war that happens while they're on the space station. So obviously tensions arise. And this movie is like almost like the Book of Clarence. Like
Oh,
it's served to you on a silver platter. Like I think this is another fascinating premise of you have these two entities on this one space station, and now all this tension comes out of nowhere because now both your countries are at war. Like I was like, yes, sign me up. And the tension was almost non-existent at points. And it's just the second movie with a golden premise I've watched this month. First being Book of Clarence, where I just feel like they did not live up to their full potential at all. This is a January release if I've ever seen one. It's so January release coded. It's an hour and a half. I won't get back, unfortunately. I think it'll make a pretty good novel, actually. I think this is because, like, the idea of exploring the psyche of these people while they're on this ship and all these tensions are like, do I kill him? Do I kill her? Like, what do I do? I think that could be a really good novel if it's explored correctly. But in the movie medium, I gave it a C minus. It was very much so underwhelming. So ISS wouldn't rush out to go see that.
well,
All
look,
right.
while we're on this negative train, I'm going to talk about Percy Jackson for a little bit because
Oh God.
I'm Monty. I'm just so disappointed, man. Like as a fan, and guys, I'm gonna let you know right fucking now. This show is ass. I want you to know that. Yeah, take that as a spoiler. I don't care. This show
Booty
fucking
butt
sucks.
cheeks. Booty
This
butt
show is
cheeks.
ass. And you know what, Monty? I'm glad you agree with me. So let's shit on it together. Just real quick. We won't gotta spend long, but like nothing works. Like there's brother. I cannot believe that the fucking Percy Jackson movie had anything better than this. This like you couldn't have told me it was possible
I tried
that the
telling you that.
movie. Shut up. No, you couldn't have told
Seriously.
me that the Percy Jackson movie would have anything better to do in terms of Percy Jackson than this Disney Plus show that was adapted by the author, greenlit by the author. This nigga damn near direct. No, I'm not gonna say he directed, but he was the fucking creative director. Like he okayed all this shit, and like it's just so blah. It's so blah. Like this is the most mid. No. It's not mid. Mid is just this is bad. Like this is not a good show, and I just can't believe after 6 episodes with the Lotus Casino episode, this was supposed to be the big one. This was supposed to be the one where if they were going to right the ship, it was going to be this episode. And they dropped the fucking ball. There's nothing good or redeemable about this show. There's 2 episodes left, I believe, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be nothing good. Well, you've never read the book, so let me be quiet. But anyway, um, I will say that I don't believe, based on what I have seen, there is going to be anything redeemable about this fucking show. Now, if they do one thing right, then maybe. But how can I trust them to do one thing right when they haven't done one thing right yet? Okay, money. Rant's over. Let's move on if
I
you want. I'm
try.
sorry.
I tried warning you after the first 2 episodes. I'm like, this shit is leading. This shit is going to hell. And I tried to warn you. And going to hell, no pun intended. And where is this
Wow.
Mandalorian budget at? Like, I'm looking around like, okay, yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Everything Everywhere All at Once will be releasing on Netflix on February 23rd. Guys, me and Julian love that movie. If you haven't watched it, go check it out on Netflix on February 23rd. Also, Oppenheimer is releasing on Peacock next month as well in February. I don't know how the fuck Peacock went out the streaming rights to Oppenheimer, but it did. Okay. Also, Lil Nas X has a documentary coming out called "Long Live Montero," a Douglasville legend. Coming, well, it's not called a Douglasville legend, but he is a Douglasville
I
legend.
was about to say what?
Comes out on January 27th on HBO Max. They're the trailer out right now for people who are interested in seeing that. Wonka has passed $500 million worldwide at the box office, and it's the highest grossing film featuring Willy Wonka. This is a surprise for me. Any
Not
thoughts on
really.
this?
Yeah, not a surprise for me. I really enjoyed the film. I'm sorry that you didn't, but it looks like
No, no.
other people
Only
did.
surprise in the fact that it's made more than even the original classic, and that's why it's surprising, or even more than the Johnny Depp version. I didn't think that would happen. So. Um,
Mm.
Also, speaking of box office numbers, The Color Purple is apparently doing horrible at the box office now. It's
Mm.
made 55 million in total with $130 million budget. 90 went into production and 40 million went into marketing. And that's just surprising to me because, like I said, I went
Mm.
to a 9 a.m. showing on Christmas morning and that bitch was packed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I must have just really tanked. I've been hearing because it's a musical and people just aren't like fans don't like being tricked into watching musicals. So I feel like people have been saying like if it was marketed as a musical, then people would have been more receptive to it, I guess. But
That's
I don't know
nuts.
what the case is. I think it's definitely a good enough film to be watched by many and succeed its overall budget. But very surprising to me. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't support the film, but my wife did, and all of the women in my family, so they got my money. Um, so I'm not to blame for this, but I don't know. I mean,
It's crazy
I
because like
didn't care to see this movie, musical or not, so I'm not the right person to ask this question.
almost everyone that I know in my circle in my life has seen the movie. So I'm like, where's the disconnect? Like, who's
Uh,
not watching it? Maybe it's white America. I
I
guess
was about
not
to say,
gonna
what
give a
do you
fuck about this.
mean? Don't forget, we're the minority. We're
Whatever.
12% or whatever we are. So yeah.
11.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, let's talk some Mean Girl tidbits from the '04 film. I find these facts very interesting from the '04 classic film starring Lindsay Lohan. It was originally supposed to be rated R. That's really interesting to me. Writer Tina Fey, who also wrote the new film as well, fun fact,
Hmm.
admitted that she was a mean girl herself in high school due to her own insecurities, and so a lot of this was kind of based off of her and how she acted, which is really interesting. Um,
Mm.
Originally, the actress they thought the actress who played Janice in the movie was too pretty. But then once she kind of did her makeup a certain way, they were like, okay, yeah, you're ugly enough, bitch. You can do it. Um,
Damn.
uh, Fun fact as well, Lindsay Lohan was up for the role of Regina George, and Rachel McAdams was up for the role of Katie. But the director said that Rachel McAdams was definitely more frightening in the bully role, so they switched that around. Thank God, because even though I think Lindsay Lohan could have done it. I've seen her play a mean girl before. Um, I think that role. I think honestly, like Regina George is one of the best antagonists of the 21st century in film. Like I really do.
Her
Um,
and Voldemort,
Her, Voldemort, and Thanos.
That's crazy.
Scarlett Johansson and Ashley Tisdale auditioned for the role of Karen. Fun fact.
Mm,
Could you have seen either one of them being Karen? Like a young
for
Scarlett
sure.
Johansson, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And the role of Aaron Samuels was almost given to James Franco. So yeah, fun
Mm.
fact.
He probably would have better. He probably would have been a better Aaron. Franco, I'm a
Okay,
fan.
okay. I see. Let's talk. Fun fact about the classic movie The Shining. Danny Lloyd, who played the character Danny Torrance in The Shining, which is the young child who ride the bike down the hallway, said that he had no idea he was making a horror film and thought it was just a drama about a family who lives in a hotel. Even after the movie was finished, he was presented with an edited version of the film that was cut all the scary parts away from it. So that's just a really cool fun fact to me. I think all young kids should have this treatment. I mean, of course, it's kind of harder to hide what kind of movie you're in other movies, but because a lot of kids do end up traumatized who star in these classic horror films. And so I thought it was just a very cute fact that they treated this nigga like this. Hey, it's a family drama. Meanwhile, you're one of the most iconic horror films of all time. So yeah,
Well, he was also like 5 fucking years old, so I'm sure it wasn't hard to trick him. But yeah.
yeah, okay. All right, let's talk some castings. Lawrence Fishburne has been added to the cast of The Witcher season 4. He'll be playing the character Regis. For all those who play the games and read the books, I don't know who that is, but I'll be tuned in to see Lawrence Fishburne. Michael B. Jordan will star in Ryan Coogler's next film. Surprise!
I'm about to say
It's a
surprise,
genre.
surprise.
It's a genre specific film that will reportedly have period elements to it. Any thoughts to that?
No, I don't care.
I honestly respect both of their careers, but I don't think trend is like fun anymore. Like I think they need like, like I would love like Ryan Coogler is like one of my favorite directors like ever, and I would love to see him work with somebody else, and I would love to see Michael B. Jordan do something else with somebody else as well. Like let's like they're like really boxing themselves in with this tandem that they have going on. And Jonathan Majors has been dropped from his role as Dennis Rodman in an upcoming movie called 48 Nights in Vegas or something like that.
Hmm.
About Dennis Rodman's epic story, fairy tale about what
I think
happened
it's
in
48
Vegas.
hours in Vegas.
Yeah, for 48 hours. Sorry.
Hmm.
Um, I really wanted to see that movie just because I want to see what the fuck happened because everybody talks about that night, those 2 nights were crazy, but
I'm
I'm sure they'll just recast or whatever.
about
But
to
what
say
are your thoughts on that?
they're 100% going to recast this because, like you, I'm sure there's a lot of freaky ass niggas that want to know what kind of
Wait,
devious
what?
shit
Wait,
Dennis
hold
Rodman was getting out to. So, yeah.
don't put me in the freaky ass nigga box, please. Come on, don't do that.
Hmm.
Let's talk some Star Wars news. Disney is reportedly developing a what if version of Star Wars. So Marvel's What If tells an anthology series or quote unquote anthology of different realities that could happen in the Marvel universe. And so now they're doing the same thing with Star Wars. What are your thoughts on this?
Yawn. No, I'm just
Really,
kidding. I
really?
mean, it's so funny. Like, a lot of people were so quick to like shit on this idea, but they would watch it as soon as it came out, just like I would. Well, depending on if they animate it in a good style, because that was one of my problems with What If. Like, I just don't like that cell shade animation bullshit. Um,
You really hate that shit, don't you?
I do, and yeah, I mean, like there's a whole bunch of ideas. What if Vader actually, or sorry, what if Anakin actually, was there for Luke and Leia? Um, Nigga said, what if fucking Mace Windu didn't fall out the window?
First of all, bitches, he didn't fall. He was fucking thrown out with force lightning. Nigga, Mace Windu would never fall out of a damn window, bitch.
Oh man, Twitter's so funny. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I hope this never
Do you have
happens, but
any?
if it does, sure.
Do you have any what ifs that you would like to see in Star Wars, just as a fan personally?
Uh, I don't know. I can't think of them off the top of my head, so no.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a really cool idea. I'm definitely here for this. I saw a funny edit. It was like what if Yoda was tall? He had like a 6 foot Yoda walking around the council's chambers. That was really funny.
No, bro, that nigga
Uh,
be unstoppable, bro.
no, I saw a really good one actually. It was like, what if John Boyega's Finn was actually who he was teased as in Force Awakens?
Hmm.
So that would be really cool to see. But yeah, I'm here
Sure.
for it for sure. Also, The Mandalorian season 4 was all written. The whole season was written, but Lucasfilm reevaluated their plans during the strike apparently and made the Mandalorian and Grogu film, which is now coming, as their priority. So I didn't know that this was taking the place of Mandalorian season 4. I thought it was just going to come after, but apparently this new Mandalorian and Grogu movie will be taking the place of Mandalorian season 4. So any thoughts on that?
No, doesn't matter. Just give it to me. I mean, who gives a fuck whether it's season 4 or whether it's on the big screen? Just give it to me.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting though that they changed it around like that. Like they had the whole season written. I'm wondering if they've just written this new script for the movie just as a condensed version of that season, or if they're going a whole different route. I'm wondering that.
We shall see.
Um, Now let's talk some Marvel news. Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Wall will return as Foggy and Karen for the Daredevil Born Again show. Julian's very happy about this.
Yeah. I fucking won, bitch. Again. John Bernthal, Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Wall, and Eldon Hinton. Like, give it to me. Just give it to me now. Like, I need this in my veins. I don't give a fuck if it's 18 episodes or not. Like, make it 9, make it 10. I don't care. Give it to me. This is gonna be the best thing Disney Plus has ever produced outside of The Mandalorian. Now, is that a high mark? No, but I still want it. I still want it. And I'm so happy for Foggy and Karen, man. Two great characters. I really did not like the idea of them being left out. I would have lived with it, but I would not. It wasn't my best case scenario. So I'm glad the gang's back together.
Yeah, and I mean, does this also more strongly imply that this new reboot is going to be in the 616 universe, or no? Still, to you, it's going to be some alternate. I'm trying to tell you, I think it's going to be 616.
Well, I mean, I think this version of Daredevil that we've seen in She-Hulk and everything, yeah, like that version's in 616, sure. But I don't think like the Netflix Daredevil thing that we've gotten. Like, I'm pretty sure those are two separate Daredevils.
So you don't think this Foggy and Karen have experienced what they experienced in season 1 through 3 of Daredevil?
I don't think they've experienced exactly the same things. No, I mean
Okay.
Wilson Fisk didn't experience exactly the same thing as he did in the Netflix show. So,
How so?
well, if you remember, he's indestructible. He can survive a gunshot to the head. He has super
Oh,
strength. Um,
okay, I thought you mean like narrative wise in Echo. Like there were some things in Echo from his past that like wouldn't add up to the Daredevil series.
that's narrative. What do you mean? Like he can't do that in Netflix Daredevil. Like,
That's
what?
not narrative. Okay,
Yes, it
okay.
is, nigga. He can't do that. He can't do that.
He took the herb, nigga, the Wakanda herb.
look. Let me tell you something. This current Willie Fisk, look, this current Willie Fisk and Daredevil going hand in hand doesn't make any fucking sense. Like there's no fight to be had. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Between season 3 and Echo, I went to Wakanda and obtained the heart-shaped herb.
You gotta move the fingers. This nigga love move his fingers when he talk.
Also, this is random, but that little shit that he put in the contacts and Echo, that was really cool to me. The ASL, that shit was really dope.
A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people did not like that. Well, just because, again, in the Netflix show, the character of Wilson Fisk knew Chinese, Japanese, Hindu. Like he knew all these languages to speak to all these different characters. So they were like, he couldn't fucking know ASL too. Whatever.
That boy, our nigga done stole some Stark Tech. Tatiana Maslany says that She-Hulk season 2 is unlikely. Her quote is, "I think we blew our budget," and Disney was like, "No thanks." Apparently, the season 1 budget was around $225 million. What are your thoughts on this?
It's like that we won't get a season 2. I feel like me and you were the only ones that actually enjoyed She-Hulk season 1, so it's not surprising. But I mean, what the fuck does she know? And she could be absolutely lying through her fucking teeth. So I'm not gonna take this as gospel. But if it is true, then that sucks, I guess.
Yeah, this is really sad to me, man. I really enjoyed She-Hulk. It was such a departure from what we had been getting when we got it. It felt very like not episodic, or no, or it did feel episodic, I guess, and not serialized. And I think Tatiana Maslany is one of the best new castings since like Phase 4 on. Like I love her as She-Hulk, and I really want to see more of her. So it really sucks that we probably won't get any more of her. And now it's even been teased that we won't get any more She-Hulk, period, which is just kind of crazy. Like Disney, I don't know what's going on with them in Marvel right now, but it's definitely just kind of wonky over there. Let's talk some stuff in the works. Greg Daniels is starting a writer's room to come up with new ideas for the Office series that he's making now. The series will be set in a new office with new characters but live within the same universe. Who said this idea a couple months ago? Me. Instead of doing a reboot of The Office completely. But what are your thoughts on this?
I don't want this still, but whatever. I mean, this is the route that they've gone.
It's better than a reboot, right? It's still better than like just a flat out reboot of The Office with the same characters that we know and love, with different actors. I feel like. Could you see another Jim and Pam, another Michael Scott? Like, could you see that? At least if this is bad, it's like somewhere down the street. It's not characters that we know and love. That's how I look at it.
Whatever. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't have like a strong opinion one way or the other. So I guess if this is the route, sure, let's do it.
Wizards of Waverly Place is getting a sequel series. We have a few details on it. Both Selena Gomez and David Henry will produce the series, and some plot details is that the series picks up after a mysterious incident at WizTech, where an adult Justin Russo, played by David Henry, has left his wizard powers behind, opting for a normal human life and his wife and 2 sons. So, any thoughts on this revival of Wizards of Waverly Place? And did you watch the original when it was on?
That was a crazy stutter. No, I didn't. No, I didn't watch.
You can't ever ignore him, can
you? You bitch. I ignore more than you fucking think I do, bitch. First of all, but that one was just crazy. That nigga said, "Oh my god."
I ignore more than you think I do. Oh.
Wizards of fucking Waverly Place. No, I was a fucking grown man when this shit came out. I don't care about
No,
this
you
shit.
weren't, because I was watching it
And
in like early high school, so I was
I'm
watching
10
it. So
years
you
older
were,
than you, Monty.
and
All right.
you're a
Anyway.
couple of months older than me.
Anyway, yeah, you know what really bothered me about I can't stand this fucking plot point of like he's giving up his powers to start a family. Like, shut the damn nigga, you can't be great and have a family. Like, what? I can't stand that shit. I
Well,
really
if you
hate
didn't
that.
watch the show, then you have no idea about the Wizard tournament in the family. So yeah, context
Well,
needed
if
there.
you listen to what the fuck I just said, I said I hate that type. That's happened in Smallville. It's happened in fucking Spartacus, and I can't stand it. Oh,
Niggas had
you've
powers in Spartacus.
no, not powers, but power.
Oh,
like,
okay.
like
Wait, what?
you've got to give up this great thing in order to have a family. Like, no, you don't. You can still be fucking Superman, bitch. Like, what? Like, sorry.
All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my question is, who are these kind of Disney revivals for? Like, we're too old to watch this shit now, and the kids have no context. They don't give a fuck about these new characters or these characters that we love growing up. Or do the kids just not care about context? They just want to see a stupid little silly show. I don't know. But I'm
Exactly.
wondering who the fuck are these shows for? Because it's not catering to any audience, in my opinion.
Mm.
Now some really sad news, guys. Rap Shit, the show produced by Issa Rae, has been canceled on Max after 2 seasons. It was just really finding its groove and really becoming a really, really good show. So this is saddened a lot of people on my timeline on Twitter, especially. People have been expressing like, what the fuck is going on? This is the second show that Issa Rae has produced. The first one being Sweet Life LA, where it's really catered to this generation, like my generation of like Black millennials, and like it really tells our lives and our experiences in a very authentic way. And they just take it away from us, like just when it's getting great. So it's just really frustrating to me. The show that they decide to keep, and obviously it didn't have good enough ratings, or obviously the shit would have stayed on. But make some sacrifices, HBO. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I don't care. I mean,
I hate you.
it's like you said, man. The sad reality is we're the minority. So even if all of us are watching it, it's not enough. So yeah, you got to get the whites in there. You got to get them, or at least the Mexicans. God damn.
All right. Polar Express 2 is currently in the works. Were you a fan of the original Polar Express? And are you here for this new Polar
Um,
Express movie?
I didn't see the original Polar Express until 3 or 4 years
I,
ago.
I was a man before I saw it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, seriously. I almost said it, but I was like, nah, let me chill. Uh, but
I was already a
so
man.
of course it doesn't hit the same when you're a grown fucking man watching this dumb shit. So like, do I care
But,
about
but,
this? No.
but like you didn't read the classic book that we all had to read in elementary school? Polar
No.
Express?
I didn't go to an all white school, so I wasn't forced to eat that white trash. So no.
Oh, I forgot. You were reading fucking Percy Jackson and Harry Potter.
You're right, bitch. Real motherfucking shit.
Okay.
Real shit.
Anyway. A Danny Phantom live action film is reportedly in the works at Paramount. Do you think Danny Phantom can make the live action crossover?
No. This is a super weird choice. Like, no.
He
Like
said no.
what? like what? Like he's gonna have to be so nerfed. I'm trying to think of like a comparable thing that they've done, and they haven't. Like, I mean, they can do flying. I mean, this is the reason why they're like so afraid to do John Jones. Like the phasing, the shifting, I don't know. It's just like it's too much. So
We just saw that with Spectrum in the Marvels, and it looks fine. So
who?
Spectrum, Miss. I'm not a
Who?
Rambo, nigga. You disrespectful. You disrespectful as fuck. You knew what I was talking about.
Oh my god.
You're so
Yeah.
disrespectful.
So, yeah. No, I don't want this. I don't want them to bastardize something else from my childhood. Make something new and fucking original. Sorry, that's how I feel.
I think actually it does work only because Danny Phantom is essentially just a superhero, and we've seen, like I said, we've seen Vision, and Monica Rambeau have similar kind of power styles, and it looks really cool with them. So my only thing is that do we need a Danny Phantom live action movie? Like, no. But in terms of its crossover, I can definitely see it looking decent live action if they put enough budget into it.
Hmm.
Shadow the Hedgehog has his own film now, apparently in the works at Paramount as well. So even though he's going to appear obviously in Sonic 3, he's getting his own film. So are you here for the Sonic verse expanding?
Uh, I fuck yeah. Like, what the fuck? Yes. Like, yeah, hell yeah. These niggas, first of all, how dare they just make the executive decision? I mean, to just be like, yeah, this shit's gonna hit. So
Right,
like,
right. Like
like
get in the film like
yeah,
now.
like let's go ahead and move this shit into production now, nigga, because these niggas gonna love Shadow, I guarantee it. So
Right.
he gonna get his own solo movie too. So, yeah, I'm here for it. They're right. I haven't seen it, and I know it's gonna fucking hit. So, yeah, I'll be
Can
there
you
opening
fan
night.
cast? Can you fan cast a voice for him?
Oh God.
Let's say Kevin. Let's say Kevin Hart.
What? A Shadow? Nigga, no.
No, no, on you.
The Rock. No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I suck at fan cast. I don't know. I don't know.
fan casting pod coming up soon.
It's not.
It is.
Nah.
They also have a Knuckles series as well coming to Paramount. So Paramount's been doing a
Huh?
lot with Sonic. They really believe in this property. I mean, obviously it makes a lot of money, so
I'm about to say,
it
yeah, make
makes
a lot of
sense.
money.
I was really sad I found out recently that Jim Carrey's not returning for Sonic 3. He's like the best part of the Sonic movies to me. Like I love his Eggman. He's having so much fun with that role, and so the fact that he's not appearing in Sonic 3, like to me, he makes it watchable for adults. So that really sucks to me.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't suck for me. I'm glad he's gone. We don't need three fucking. We don't need it.
Okay, anyway. Jenna Ortega says Wednesday season 2 will lean into more horror, and that each episode will probably feel more like a movie. I feel like Jenna Ortega is like the fucking CEO of Wednesday. Like she makes every decision when it comes to the show. It's so funny. I've never seen an actor have this much pull when it comes to a show. But what are your thoughts on it? On
I
that?
mean, if what she says is credible and true, it sounds great, right? Yeah, it's like you said though. Like Jenna Ortega is like puffing her chest out when she's saying this shit. Nigga, like, yeah, nigga, horror, bitch. It's like, oh, okay, you got it. Let's see what actually happens though.
Yeah, I'm still surprised this is such a huge hit. Like, and it really appeals. Like, kids love Wednesday, adults love Wednesday. It's got that crossover appeal. I'm excited. Like you said, I thought some of the best parts of season 1 were where they leaned into the horror, which apparently was also Jenna Ortega's decision as well. It had a really campy, I guess, vibe to it at first, and
Mm-hmm.
and they're obviously going like the like Stranger Things route as well, because like with that season, every season kind of got darker and became more cinematic as well. So they're going the route of Stranger Things. That's really cool. Um, Now, this next news kind of threw me for a loop. No pun intended when you hear what I'm about to say. Fast X Part 2 will reportedly be a throwback to the first film with a trimmed budget and less major locations. What are your thoughts?
I don't know how to feel about this because part of the ridiculousness of going to see these movies is that ridiculousness. So like I want to see them fly a spaceship into the Statue of Liberty. Like, yeah, like do it. Like it's ridiculous. So now that they're not doing locations or big locations and they're trying to shorten down the budget. I don't love that, but it's probably gonna make for a better film. But at this point, I'm not going to see a good film. I'm going to have fun. So yeah. Sounds like they're trying to suck
Yeah,
the fun out of this.
I've been the main one clamoring for them to return to their roots, but it's too fucking late now. Like you said, like I don't want to see these niggas go back to street racing,
Quarter mile at a
like
time.
quarterback. Like this is just such a weird decision to me. It's like, how can you get to the inch of teaming up with Optimus Prime and be like, we're gonna back off now and go back to our roots? It's like, nigga, like, don't fucking tease us how crazy you can get and then go back. Like, even though I've been wanting this for the franchise for a long time. It's too late now. Like you said, you're all in spaceships, and I want to see time travel. I want to see GI Joe collabs. Like, let's go for it now. And so, a really weird decision to kind of go backwards.
Yep.
Let's talk some trailers. We have the trailer for Rhythm and Flow season 2 coming to Netflix. We have the judges for this show will be Ludacris, Lotto, and DJ Khaled. This is a show where rappers come from around the nation, kind of like American Idol style, and audition to be the next biggest rapper. Did you watch season 1, and do you care about this at all?
Didn't watch season one. Didn't watch the trailer. Have no idea what this is.
Okay, well, I just explained it.
You
I
did.
did watch season 1. Season 1 had different judges of Ti, Chance the Rapper, and Cardi B. It was actually a really fun season of television. Actually, and this is one of the shows, one of those music competitions where like the winner of the show, his name was D Smoke, actually has a career. Like a lot of these times on The Voice or American Idol, they win and like you never hear from them again. Like the winner of this show has like a fans and like like Yeah, so that's really cool that they can do this. So hopefully they can repeat that formula again and have a successful new artist we can have in the game. We have the trailer for the Vince Staples show has been released. He's a rapper for those who don't know, out of Long Beach, California. His show is releasing February 15th on Netflix. Um, do you know about Vince Staples? But before you hear this trailer, and what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Didn't see the trailer. Don't know who this is.
So you just don't watch shit I tag you in no more?
Of course I do.
It's been a trend lately. You just don't watch things.
That's not true.
Okay. So yeah, Vince Staples has one of the best personalities in the game from like rapping. Like he's just so
What?
funny.
Okay.
He's like, anyway, if you watch any of his interviews, he's so likable, so funny. He's long overdue for a show. It's like how Lil Dicky got one on FX. He's been deserving of one as well. So I'm really happy that he got his chance. The acting did look a little iffy on the brief snippets that we did get. So unlike Lil Dicky, I don't know if he has the acting chops, but that kind of stuff can always be cultivated because I think he is talented. So we'll see. I'm just happy he got a shot because if anybody that deserves their own show in the rap game, it's Ben Staples. He's so funny, just like naturally
Mm.
funny. We have the trailer for Jennifer Lopez's new Amazon original movie called "This Is Me Now," a love story. Sci-fi rom com.
Musical.
What the fuck? Matrix musical. What is this, Julian?
I have no fucking idea. I so yeah, this is one of the last things you dragged me in, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, wait, what? Like what? Like what? Um,
Explain to the audience why you feel this way.
yeah, like it's part post-apocalyptic. Apocalyptic. God damn.
It's not post
Um,
apocalyptic, is it? Is it really?
yes, yeah, it is. You didn't see like the emptiness and like the earth and like her working in the factory, and that gave off post-apocalyptic vibes to me. It's part musical, part rom-com. Is there time travel involved in this? Like I don't get like the point in, like the point in times that we're in. Um, she's a sex addict and she's marrying all these dudes. Ben Affleck is the other lead, but I didn't see him in the trailer at all.
Me
Uh,
either.
I'm not gonna. I'm not doing this. I'm not giving J Lo the benefit of the doubt here. I love her, but no, no J Lo. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, this is a wacky trailer only because it's got, like you said, so many tones, so many genres mixed in there. But honestly, I kind of praise it because it's ambitious. At least, like it doesn't look like anything we just like something that we just get all the time. So I'm gonna watch it because I appreciate ambitiousness as a creative. So I want to see what the fuck this is gonna lead to. And so yeah, guys, if you have not watched this trailer for this new J Lo show, just watch it and form your own opinion because it's nuts. And maybe it's a good thing that it's nuts. Okay, moving on.
Mm.
Last trailer we have here, guy. Well, movie trailer at least is for the movie Spaceman, starring Adam Sandler, Carey Mulligan, and Paul Dano, coming March 1st on Netflix. Did you watch this trailer?
Mm-mm. This don't sound familiar.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you. You can't keep doing this to me. First of all, it's embarrassing when I say, "Hey, you watch the trailer? Co-host the pod?" And nope, didn't watch it. Anyway, I'm happy to see Adam Sandler revert back to taking movies serious again. Like I was teased so well with Uncut Gems at how amazing of an actor he is that a lot of these other roles he's been taking lately have just been so like these little goofy comedies he does. It's just too bad now. It's damn near ruining his legacy at this point. And so I'm happy to see him return to form and just show off his acting. Like looks like a really interesting sci-fi kind of epic film. I'm here for it. I think it's got a really cool trailer. It's got a very wacky trailer. I mean, wacky premise of like this alien that looks like a spider is going into his memory and he's tapping into his deepest thoughts. It's very sci-fi as it gets. And I'm here for it. I hope it's really good. Um, for all my fans of Indiana Jones and video games at once, there's the new trailer for the Indiana Jones game called Indiana Jones and the Great Circles out right now. It's set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Last Crusade. It's mostly first person, so watch the trailer, guys, if you want to see that. If you plan on playing that Indiana Jones game. And last bit of news here that we have, guys, is that Google will now warn users that they can still track you in incognito mode. This comes after settling a $5 billion lawsuit. I kind of always figured this shit, like, when I'm on Pornhub or whatever, I'm like, these niggas know I'm on this shit. But Is this news surprising to you that they can track us on incognito mode? And do you ever use incognito mode too, by the way? Or
Of
would you
course,
even
I
admit it
use
was wrong?
it, and of
Okay.
course, yeah. I mean, you just don't want that stuff in your search history. So, like, why would you not use it? That's what it's literally there for. But never for a second did I think that Google doesn't have access to this. I'm a grown man. I don't give a fuck what they see. So, but yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all.
If you were on the black market, would you trust incognito mode to like use? Like, I mean, can the police really come to your door like, "Hey, we tracked you on incognito mode"? No, they can't, right?
I don't know, nigga. What do you think I am? This nigga just asked me that if I'm like if I was fucking Tony Stark. I don't know. Nigga. I have no idea.
God forbid I try to have conversation with my co-host here.
Nigga, I'm just being honest with you. Like, okay, you know what? Hold on. Ask me again. Ask me again. Go ahead.
If you're on the black market trying to buy a bomb, and the
Yeah.
police came knocking down your door, and they say, "Hey, we tracked you from incognito mode," do they have a leg to stand on there? All right.
Hold on. Let me pull out my Charlie Cox. My Matt Murdock at an attorneys at law. Technically, you don't have a leg to stand on because nigga. Who knows?
Okay.
I don't know.
He's playing with me now. Pause.
Yes. What,
guys? That wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed the stuttering.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the pod. It's been real.
Yeah, go see the Book of Clarence.
Don't watch that. Don't watch that. But yeah, but do watch The Brother's Son. Julian, I think you actually really like it.
Brother's
and
Son.
American Fiction. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one's on Netflix, one's not.